Hey guys, I just want to introduce you to my channel. This is something that I've been wanting to do for a while. I just want to sit and talk figures, from brand new to old to bootlegs to news, anything like that. Um, I've been collecting figures for about over 25 years of my life at this point. Um, and it all started out with Spider-Man. He's my bread and butter, and then it evolved into so much more, from early Marvel Legends to imports to anything like that. But today, I really just wanted to talk about something that I've seen more prevalent is CT Toys. Now, they've been coming out with their own versions of previous figures, Mafex, Amazing Yamaguchi, um, and they really have been getting a lot of news lately, from a lot of collectors saying, "Oh, they're bootlegs. They're not worth it. They're cheap. You don't have the original." It's caused a lot of back and forth with a lot of collectors I've seen, and personally, I don't see the big deal. Some people come in late to collecting certain things. They miss out on pre-orders. They're not able to get the original at the time. They just want something they don't have to worry about breaking, um, especially if there's good quality here. Now, CT has been around for about a year now. In 2024, they really popped off with all of their clones that they made, starting with their um, Spider-Man 2099 was really the one that put them out on the market. That SH Figure Arts was very expensive, and it came with an alternate head, so it could be classified as a custom. And since then, they've mainly done Spider-Man. Now they have two versions of Wolverine, the brown suit and the classic tiger stripe as well. But I don't think they're hurting the community at all. I clearly have the cell shaded official Mafex right there on the left hand side with the CT 185 clone on the right. You can see the difference in the scale, obviously. That's one thing a lot of collectors were talking about is, oh, they're going to be a little small. They're going to be a little small. And that's fine, especially if you just want it just to enjoy it and just play around with them. Especially since the aftermarket, especially for Mafex, is kind of crazy. If you can justify coming into the hobby and spending $110 on a figure you missed out on, good for you. You can always wait a couple years for reissues. I know they recently just reissued him um, for the official version, so you can't go wrong. It's all up to you. You should really just collect what you like. Um, I really focus on figures that I can just play with and enjoy. Every CT figure that I've gotten, I'm able to pose around on my desk. They're my pocket figures. My one gripe about Mafex is you don't want to break these figures. They're expensive when they come out, and you don't know when they're going to reissue them. This cell shaded Spider-Man is notorious for its quality control. Its wrist pegs have snapped, both of them on mine. Those are actually replacement pegs from a CT Spider-Man itself, and his leg is completely broken. Like, you cannot tell because it's blue tacked in place, but it is completely useless to me. And I dished out retail price when he came out, and I want a Spider-Man I could play with that looks so good. And the CT was that fix for me. I didn't want to spend another $90 on a figure that I could potentially break. If I spend $20 on something, the price of a Marvel Legend, and I break it, yeah, that's $20, but at least it's not a hit of 90 and above, which is crazy. And a lot of people were like, oh yeah, well, the scale, they're tiny, they're tiny. One thing about CT is that with each figure they release, they're getting better at cloning and getting closer to the scale. Now, this CT 185 Spidey is the smallest, they have, believe it or not, get him to stand. My diorama's a little wonky. Because I also have their black suit Spider-Man, who's even taller. And I have their most recent Spider-Man, at least to me. I have the Scarlet Spider, who is actually in scale with the regular Scarlet Spider, believe it or not. He's a little shorter, but he's closer to scale to a regular Mafex than these two. So they're making adjustments and they're listening to what people say. And what they've been doing with their two most recent Spidey releases, just like the 2099, is they've been giving us parts that the original don't come with. Now, this hoodie only comes with the CT version. Now, you do have to deal with the stitching as well as the longer hoodie wires. Well, not wires, strings in the front. But it's a small price to pay for, I think, something that came with the figure. I think he should have originally came with this design. I think that 90s logo looks better than the small modern design. But the CT came with both. Now, here is that comic Spidey back, the official from Mafex. Let me get his head straight. And you can clearly see that he is the same size. Now, these two would be able to fit if you didn't want to spend the extra money on that Scarlet. Now, there is differences for every release, but I don't think collecting these would cause your figures to lose value or anything like that. If you have the original one, you don't have to worry about these little things besides breaking the figure, really. Even the boxes for these figures are fantastic. So here is... Mine got a little dented from AliExpress, but I can deal with a little dent in the back of the box to see how vibrant these are. It's kind of crazy. Like, and they're all that smaller design, which I really like. Like, yeah, they rip off some of the artwork and everything like that, and they have the Spidey logo and the figure on the side, but you can't beat it. $20, over $90, and it's your collection. They're just toys at the end of the day, and if you have like an elitist view on some action figures with their authenticity, that's kind of crazy, because you get these figures that completely knock it out of the park for a fraction of the cost. Yeah, you gotta wait for shipping. Yeah, you might get a dented box. There might be a little bit of quality control, but you're taking the risk on what you get. And it's the same thing if you bought something from Hasbro. You can have so many fused arm joints and missing paint apps and all this stuff, but for $20, and the figures turn out that nice looking, and they can move, yeah, the scale isn't 100% accurate. But you get parts of your collection that you wouldn't get normally if you didn't want to spend the money or you missed out on it. Now, personally, I think their best figure they've made is the amazing Yamaguchi Agent Venom. Personally, he is my favorite version of Venom. Yeah, he's a little finicky, and the tentacles want to sag every now and then, but that's the same thing with the official version. And if it has the same problems or even improves on the original, that's kind of crazy. Like this Wolverine, he has a boot swivel that the original doesn't have. Like, making improvements on something that you're supposedly just making a clone of is kind of insane, and you're making it more... You're improving on the original design, which I think CT really does in certain circumstances. They've completely made their own custom figures, like their Anti-Venom. It's not just a simple repaint of the Agent Venom that they have already put out. They've completely sculpted new parts for it. Let me just get these guys out of the way. But they completely sculpted new parts for him, making him his own thing that a lot of collectors are buying because it's something that the company itself hasn't offered. All right, let me see if I can get him to stand. But he looks great. He looks just like the original. Yeah, he's a little shorter. Maybe the painter is a little different, but the paint apps are there. All the articulation are there. All the accessories are there. You even get the bonus head that you would have missed out if you didn't pre-order him. Like, come on. CT as a company is listening to what a lot of people say. They're working with a lot of actual feedback that they get from their social media. I've seen them blown up on TikTok, on Instagram, everything like that. And you can't beat it for the price. Like, the posability is all there. Yeah, maybe the joints might pop out every now and then, but it's nothing that you can't fix. They're pretty sturdy. Like, I don't have to worry about breaking a $110 figure every time I touch it, or dealing with QC too much. Like, you can get these into some amazing poses. They're going to fill out some spaces in your collection that you might miss or anything like that, but you can't really beat it. And honestly, I don't know how many toys they're going to make, but I'll support them as much as I can. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about something that I'm really passionate about and that I'm enjoying. I'm going to have more stuff out in the future, but thank you so much for hearing what I have to say. Have a good one.